Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Marco Antonio, otherwise known as MROD707, and you are here joining me for another special podcast. Today, we're having Keith Welch from KWelchVisuals. Keith, dope to have you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. All right, my guys. So, for those people that don't know Keith, Keith is somebody I've known for a long time. He plays sports. For as long as I've known you, you pretty much had an identity as an athlete. So today, I really just want you to tell us a story. Tell us about how it is that you got to, start one of the best media companies there is in the Bay Area for working with top A-class clients such as E40, and some of the other great ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, I started off with sports my whole life, growing up in Vallejo. All we did was sports. I grew up in a family with, my dad was a coach. So coached all the athletes in Vallejo. So growing up, I was always going to all the games, all the practices. So that played a big role in my life because I got to, see athletes, high intense athletes, top-notch athletes, including like CC Sabathia and stuff, being at their practices, watching them do their thing. So it always inspired me to want to be, work hard and be better. So from there, I was in Vallejo, living in Vallejo. Then I moved to Fairfield about sophomore year of high school. And that was a big change for me because, coming from Vallejo, you got all your friends out here, you're doing one thing. You move to Fairfield, it's a big change on you. So I did that. But I feel like that was one of the best things that happened to me because it got me out of, living in Vallejo, thinking, so small-minded and thinking that Vallejo was the whole world. And I got to go to another city and see, like, there's more stuff out here. And in Fairfield, it was so helpful for me because at Fairfield High, all the teachers, they were so hands-on and so helpful. I had the parents pushing me, but then when you have teachers that really care, it helps you a lot, because it, pushes you.
For
and
sure.
You feel like you got a lot of support. So from there, I played, high school sports, basketball, football, baseball. That's all I knew was sports. From there, I was looking at going to like schools like Stanford for football, but my second game of my high school, my senior year, I broke my arm. You was there.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Damn near cried.
Broke my arm. So that kind of changed a lot of things for me. A lot of people that were recruiting me, it kind of, fell by the wayside because, I had got injured. I was a big injury. So from there, we ended up choosing Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon, because they just stayed, they stayed with me, always checked on me, made sure. They just made me feel like they still cared.
Yeah.
So instead of taking that big college route where, you might want to focus only on sports or, the NFL or something like that, I took the small route school. And it was one of the biggest blessings for me because it allowed me to focus on stuff other than sports. I mean, I definitely focus on sports. Sports is always important, but out there, when you're out there in Oregon and you're living by yourself now, you don't have mom and dads and all the friends you knew. It forces you to open your mind and try new things, learn new things, talk to different people. So it made me just a way better person as far as dealing with all types of people.
Expanding your way of thinking. And I want to touch upon that a little bit because before you made it to college, it's everything else that happened in between then. So as a kid, I remember us in high school and you weren't just an athlete, man. You were a student first.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something your pops always engraved on us, in the football team. But you weren't just beating us on the football field. You were beating us in the classroom. You had a 4.0. So tell us about, how that kind of helped you, having some structure as a kid, and what that did for a career, college opportunities.
Yeah, well, that started at like I said, early age. I was a little different. Like I said, my dad was the coach, so
everybody knows Coach.
Yeah, I couldn't have bad grades because if he's preaching to the whole team, you can't play with bad grades, and I definitely couldn't have bad grades. Yeah. So he stayed on me. I'm talking about third grade, second grade. He in the class. If the teacher said anything, he's in the class with me. So
hands on.
At an early age, I knew like, okay, if I want to play sports, I have to do the academics. And I always felt, for some reason, school was fun to me because I always like to learn. I like to compete. So if I'm in the classroom, I don't want to be the person in the back that doesn't know anything. I want to be up front trying to, be the top student. Yeah. And that's just because mom and dad stayed on me from an early age. So, and also being like a quarterback and a point guard, things like that. When you play those positions, you got to lead by example. You gotta be the first one there. You got to be on time. You got to work harder because people are looking at you and, you're the leader. So
you got to be the last one out.
Exactly. So all the sports stuff, it definitely transitioned into my career and in school because, like I said, sports is everything and you learn so much from sports. When you transition over, the skills you learn, they come over. And I see that in life now. Like,
right. And the discipline, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I just remember, man, like the type of work that you put in, and you're not just somebody that says it. You actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
You were there before practice started.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like coach, was even harder on you because you were
Definitely.
his son. So when we got beatings, we had to run, laps and all that stuff, or 100 pacers back and forth because we got scraped in the game.
Yeah.
You were doing more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I definitely think having that extra added pressure from your parents, a supportive pops, that was out on the field coaching you up, and even the moms, man. I mean, she was there with the boosters, making sure that people were getting oranges and doing what they needed
nothing.
to do.
My mom didn't miss anything. That's my heart. That's really one of the main reasons that pushed me is because, like I said, my mom had me at 41. My dad had me at 31, so they were always a little bit older than like my friends' parents. So it always pushed me because I could see like as my friends' parents are young, moving, my parents getting a little older, so it always pushed me to want to fast forward my my hustle and my grind so I could get in a position to help them out.
Sure.
And they taught me a lot. Like you say, in high school, I had to be in honor roll classes, AP classes, and things like that. And at the time when your friends, all your athletes are going to other classes, and you go into these classes, you're thinking like, man, I want to be with them. But I'm glad I stuck through that type of stuff because it helped me tremendously in life. I learned how to be patient. I learned how to sit through stuff that I might not want to do, and open my mind and try to do it and different things like that. So school played a big role. Lewis and Clark played a big role because, like I said, out there, it wasn't all like the Bay Area, your fun and all that. It was really like a different experience, a different life, and it changed me at a young age to, be able to, like I said, deal with all types of people and just go for different things.
I feel that. You had to have a lot of discipline. I mean, we out here playing ball, growing up through the hyphy movement.
Man, for sure.
Going back home, dealing with all that, but keeping our heads straight. And it's crazy and as cliche as it sounds, but from where we grow up, you see a lot of people that do go down the wrong path or end up being, in jail or whatever it is, but end up not exceeding or reaching the goals that they wanted to get because they go off path. They're not focused. So having that extra discipline, I think is dope, man, because it set the stage up for you to go to college and excel in it. So tell us about Lewis and Clark, what that experience was like. You were in Oregon, D2 school, right?
Yeah. So Lewis and Clark, it was crazy because at first, like I said, I was 18, graduated high school, and 3 months later, I'm shipped to, well, not shipped, but I'm off to Oregon. And I grew up in a family, like I said, my mom and dad was always there for everything, so I was a homebody. I was not a baby, but I like to be around my parents. I felt comfortable.
Yeah,
I always had them there. So 3 months later after graduating, I'm sent straight to Oregon. All my friends at home, girlfriend at home, all the stuff. The same high school, college experience a lot of people go through. And my first year, like I said, it was so different in Oregon from coming from the Bay Area. Out there, it rains a lot. It's a lot of different things going on, and
it's different, right?
It's just different. It's a culture shock if you haven't witnessed it. You ain't been away.
So now you got all this freedom.
Yeah, you got a lot of freedom. Like I said, you don't see familiar faces, and that was different for me. I grew up in small cities like Vallejo and Fairfield, where everybody. I knew everybody in the city. So now it's like, okay, you out here on your own. And that first year was a big learning experience for me. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to come home. I cried a lot. It was hard on me. I got injured my first year, so I wasn't playing football no more. So it's like last year I was in high school, football, knowing everybody. Now I'm out here in a new city. Nobody knows me. I'm hurt. I'm not playing. I don't see moms. I don't see dad. I don't see no friends. So it was a culture shock for me. And I really had to survive that first year. I thought I was going to transfer, but, I had a lot of coaches and my mom and them saying, stick through it. And eventually, the next year I came back, I had my mind on right. And it was the biggest blessing for me. Like I said, a lot of people were like, oh, you should have went to a bigger school, this, that. But for me, I met some of my best friends in school out there. Like I said, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about me. I learned how to open my mind to new people and different things. And that was one of the biggest blessings. Two of the biggest blessings, like I said, my mom and my dad, they moved me to Fairfield. At first, I wasn't feeling it. I wanted to stay in Vallejo. I grew up going to the field and watching all these players at Vallejo. I wanted to be one of them.
Yep.
So that was a great thing for me was moving from Fairfield and then going to that school in Oregon where I got to just grow as a man by myself out there. That was very big for me, and it helped me, like I said today, grow into a businessman because out there was, like I said, it was sports, but academics was highlighted out there. And that's why I kind of got to see like, okay, sports, everybody doesn't make it in sports, but you can, life is a bigger game. Life is the biggest game. You got to focus and try to, evolve and figure out a way in this life. Sports might not be everybody's, it's a low statistic who makes it to the NFL.
Exactly.
So I was just glad I wasn't stuck on the sports thing so much where I could, maneuver to different things.
I appreciate you sharing that because like, You know, one thing that we always talking about is whether or not education is becoming worth it. I mean, it's getting more and more expensive to get to school, and then the amount of time that you spend there. But one thing about school that I've really taken is the value of the relationships that you build, the experience that you get by being exposed to all these different topics or different people, different cultural groups. And it's a way different feel. It's not like going to high school. Like people there are focused, they're there on a mission, and you feed off of that energy. So, I mean, when people ask me, is school really worth it? Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I definitely think everybody should make it. And I get it, it's not for everybody. School was tough for me too.
Yeah.
Like, man, I got a mind that's like all over the place. So it was hard to focus and sitting down doing homework.
Yeah.
It took me much longer than it does for the average person. But at the end of the day, it's about starting it and then finish what we started. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm glad that you did that, because then what happened next? It opened up other opportunities. So you play football for
Ancona Dolphins in Italy. So after Lewis and Clark,
Ancona Dolphins,
Ancona Dolphins,
Ancona Dolphins in Italy.
In Italy, Ancona,
so you
Italy.
Got to play Italy.
Yes.
Okay.
So from Lewis and Clark, I had a successful career out there. Like I said, it was a smaller school, so we didn't get too many looks from bigger places. But I had a coach out there that actually played overseas, and he had coached me all my years in college, so he knew I had like the talent to go play. So he kind of put me in a position to get my highlight tape out there and stuff like that. And I got a good response when I put it out there. And then, you know, at first, like I said, I'm a homebody. So at first I was kind of second guessing, like, man, am I ready to go out and live in Italy and do this like that? But, you know, I went for it and got a contract out there to play quarterback for 6 months for the team. And that experience right there, Oregon was a different experience, but when I'm telling you Italy was a different experience, that's a whole different world out there. They think different. Things like just the food's different. I mean, the whole culture, the way they think, talk, the way they greet you. I mean, they kissing you on the cheek when they see you, ciao, ciao, and I still say ciao to this day. It's stuck in me. And like I'm part Italian. My mom's her dad was full-blooded Italian, so I have that in me. People might not know that, but when I went out there, like it was a crazy experience. It was that experience right there took me from trying to become a man to really becoming a man. Because when you're out somewhere in 6 months and people don't speak the same language, you don't have a car, you don't really know what's going on, you're trying to figure it out, that'll teach you a lot about yourself.
That'll
for sure
force you to grow.
Yes. So that was one of the best experiences. And playing football out there, it was fun. It was like I got some clips I can get to you and show you how it was out there. I got like, you know, behind the scenes where people are talking and just the crowd environment. It's definitely a different experience, but it was a fun and it was a blessing.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah, it was fun.
You know, of all people that I know, I've always bet on you making it to the league.
Man.
I always bet on you making it to you. You're one of the most talented guys that I play ball with or even seen play ball. So when you didn't make it to the league, let's just keep it real. Yeah. It really shocked me. Okay. You know, I'm like, damn, the numbers are so small. Yeah. If somebody this talented doesn't make it, that just made me become more aware. Like, we need to educate kids on using sports to play, have fun, build network and the relationships, but like really preparing them for life after sports, so they could find a career or something that they could use to really better their life, you know, because the chances are thin, man. And if sports is your only outlet and you're banking on that and you end up not making it, that's when hearts are broken. Man. That's when kids get lost and not know what they're doing.
I got friends right now that can't, like, when sports ended, it's like everything ended. And that's why I try to tell my friends, like, yeah, we were good at that game, but like I said, life is the biggest game that we got. It's the biggest, the most rewarding. You got to just focus and treat this like sports. Like, it's not over. You got to reinvent yourself. Right. Things get slow. Things you don't got to figure it out. That's okay. Everybody don't have it figured out. They said a lot of people that made it big time made it in their 40s, 35. So it's not about, you know, getting there fast. It's about, you know, staying consistent, finding something you love to do, and just doing it every day. I wake up before I got this. Before I really made this my business. Like, I used to do this camera stuff every day for free. I was at my mom's house. My friends would come over, and I'd always had a computer out editing. Like, people talking and the table around me. I got the headphones on. I found something I loved. And I know from sports, it's like when you practice sports all the time, you get the reward of, okay, you're scoring touchdowns on Saturdays or Fridays because of that hard work. I realized at a young age, like, whatever you put your work in, no matter if it's knitting blankets, you're going to get better. And the more work you put in, it's going to get better, and you're going to feel more confident, and it's going to keep going. For sure. That's how it is. A lot of people don't understand, and this goes on with my friends. I try to tell my friends a lot, like, it's consistency. Finding something you do and just doing it all the time. If you do something from this day and you imagine if you did it every day for a year, by the end of that year, you're going to be skyrocketing. You're going to be ahead instead of just saying, oh, if I'd have just talking about it and not doing it, and okay, I'll touch it every month. Then you're not getting that progression. You're not learning stuff. Just coming out here and talking to you today, I'm gonna learn a lot of things. I'm gonna bump hands with, shake hands. I just take every opportunity as a learning experience and trying to, better yourself. Because every tool you learn from a person, every time you shake a hand, you can grow.
For sure.
You become a better person.
It's dope how you reinvented yourself, man. And it seems like we're constantly doing that, right? You did that, playing sports. You went to Italy, and then you had to do it again, reinvent yourself, transition into going into the workforce. So what happened when you came back from Italy back to the States? Now you're here, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
What do we do now? Sports is done. What's next?
See, it's crazy because, when I came back from Italy the first time, the contract, I could have still went back and kept playing. Yeah. But like I said, out there, I played it. I got that feeling of I didn't like the feeling of waiting on the next person. I got to wait for rides. I just wanted to kind of get in control of my life. Sports are fun, but I wanted to start, create something that I could leave for kids and stuff one day. So from there, came back,
start building
off the contract. I got a job. Actually, my nephew had got me a job in San Francisco at Demand Force. I was a tech support. And, I was like, okay, let me try something new. Because I had a job before when I was younger doing help, mental pay, not mental, I don't know how they say, what do they call that?
You were in the health field?
Mental health. Okay. So I was helping that, but that was like a little summer job. I really wasn't, that wasn't my focus. So when I came home, got the job at Demand Force, for me at the time, it was like, I'm making some good money. I'm working in the city. This going to be cool. I'm going to start my life like this. But as I started working in San Francisco, waking up every day, from Fairfield, that's a real commute. I had to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and real commute.
Traffic and everything is crazy.
And I was seeing every day I went to work, no matter how hard I worked, we getting paid the same money, same time, no weekends. I mean, you only get the weekends off.
Working somebody's hours.
And then I would see, every day I made the same amount of money, and I would see these other guys come in, dressed nice like you, come in, right? Spend about maybe 3 hours in a day at the office, and they were winning. They were making the most money. They were, it was just, I knew for me, like you said, I just knew growing up, that wasn't my lane. I didn't want to give my life away working like I see my parents and everybody else I do in life, just every day, waking up, going to a job. It's like it's like a wheel. Right. So for me, once I felt that and I kind of seen okay, this is what the work world is and it's never going to stop. I had people working with me that was 50, 60. It was the same thing. We was doing the same thing.
Right.
I started
time flies, man. You end up being stuck in a place. You're
there. Yeah, for sure. That's what I had seen. I'm talking to older people that have been there for 6, 5, 7 years.
Right.
And no progression. So on my walks in the morning, I started using that as I had so much time. I had about a mile walk in the morning to get to work where I just had my headphones on and I'm listening to music and I'm thinking about different things. And from that moment, I just remembered saying, F the commute. I didn't want to commute no more. I wanted to create my own life.
I remember you created a video.
Yeah. I used to do that all the time. And it was really some jokes, but it was serious because, like I said, I didn't want to do the commute no more. I didn't want to wake up and leave my house every morning and go out here to work for the same money, same amount of hours for this guy that I don't even know that doesn't care really much about me. He'll let me go in the next minute.
Right.
So, like I said, them walks gave me a lot of time to think, and I just knew I wanted to change my life. So, I bought a camera. I bought a computer one day because I used to edit pictures back in the day, just on MySpace, playing around.
Hey, so you were working with the Raiders at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you had 2 jobs.
Yeah. So eventually I ended up getting a job with the Raiders.
Going to Oakland.
Yeah. San Francisco on the weekdays, Oakland on Sundays for game day. So working with the alumni up there, bumping hands with them, shaking hands, learning a lot from them.
Was it like hospitality type stuff?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm taking the alumni to their seats. Just
That's
whatever they need me to do.
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm shaking hands, I'm getting people to their seats, whatever. It's just
team player.
Yeah,
whatever.
Exactly. And I liked it because, like I said, I'm a people person, so it gave me a chance to come to the games, and now I'm in a suit with my headphones on. I'm feeling like Men in Black. I'm in there talking with everybody. So it was cool. So I did that on Sundays. And then, like I said, Demand Force, it came to a point where I knew I had to do something to change this. I didn't want to be on that wheel no more, so I ended up buying a computer to edit my pictures. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to edit pictures off the internet. I want to take my own pictures. So then I bought a camera. Bought the camera. One day I hit it to video mode, and from there, my life was changed.
Rest is history.
Rest was history. I'm telling you, like I said, I used to come home, shoot videos for my friends, and ManiacFlame. You probably talk about him one day. Tremaine, Demaria, just anybody I could do,
Bayon,
anybody I could shoot.
My guy HighYellah.
Yeah, anybody.
Leek, all those guys, So you work with some of those guys early on, even local Fairfield dudes, say it's a Gemini, so
taking it on, just trying to push it.
Right.
And like I said, I turned to the video mode and changed my life, because from there on, no matter what, even like I said, I wasn't getting paid or nothing. I just wanted to do it. So I was doing it every day, and I realized, if I can change my life and get paid to do this, that would be a blessing.
Yeah.
So from there, like I said, I just went full speed on there. Full speed. I brought my camera to work every day, walking through the city with it, taking pictures of random stuff, just making my girlfriend come out and take pictures, just whatever I could do. Getting friend. Every time a friend came over, it wasn't no more just hanging out. Hey, let's take this picture. Let's do this. So
practice.
They got a lot of good practice in. And then one day, like I said, I kind of foresaw it. Demand Force. It was a startup company. If you're a permanent employee, sometimes they got to cut. I call it cutting the fat. They got to get certain. They got to cut the fat. They got certain people out of there. So one day I came to work and my name was on that email, and that was a crushing for me, because it's like, I had built such a good relationship with all the people at work. Some of my best friends right now, and it's like,
just let you go.
They just let me go. Like I was nothing. Like I done gave every day. I'm waking up at 6 a.m, coming out here, giving you my heart.
Yeah.
And they let me go. It felt like I cut from a football team or something, and I had never felt that. Like, okay, you got to go home.
Not a lot of things piss me off, but that type of shit.
That woke my game up. Like I said, people was coming in the office crying. Like it was like, that was my family there. I'm gonna spend 2-3 years with them, and it was like, now you're never coming back. Right. So that really woke me up, and I had to go through it. I had just moved in my first apartment when that happened. So it was like it woke my game up. I was scared. Like, it's like, man, not scared, but like it was a shock. You get a first apartment, now you got real bills. You got let go from your job. You got people depending on you. It's like, what are you gonna do?
You got this new financial responsibilities. You just took
I'm talking about 3 months, 2 months in. No, we moved in November. In February, I got let go. So that's like three months in. And rent out here is no joke. So
what'd you do? You woke up and you said,
I took about I'm not gonna lie, I took about 3 days where I was just like in shock still, kind of just, I'm waking up, I'm doing what I'm doing, but I'm not really, I don't have
depression set in, anything like that?
Not a full depression, because like I said, I was more sad that I didn't get to see my friends no more. The job, I knew eventually I was going to let it go. Yeah. But it was more of like, man, I feel like I cut from a team. That's a weird feeling. It's like, not that you're not good enough, but it's just like, you got to go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't like that feeling. So about maybe a week later, I just, like I said, I was still pushing the video stuff. I was going. And then out of a God blessing, it just started picking up. And that's all I had to focus on. So I fully went in on it. And it was just, ever since then, I ain't never looked back.
So when did you make the decision to, start working with artists? You're like, man, I like this lane. I love music. I know a few of these guys from back home. I know early on you worked with some guys like OMB Peezy, SOB, when all these guys were real young, Nef the Pharaoh, Young T.O. And then you start working up to guys like E40, man.
Yeah. It was just like I said, it's just like sports. Like you start maybe on the bottom of the pole, and you just got to work your way up. And, you got to be good to people. When you meet people, you got to be able to, be personable. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to maneuver. You got to be able to get yourself in situations. So, and then you also got, like I said, people will start respecting you. When you put in that hard work, people will respect it, and they'll see it. And if not, it's not their time to, work with you. And I never took that as like a knock. If someone wasn't ready to work with me, I understood it. Maybe I'm not where I need to be yet. And I can't knock somebody for that. So it really just was hard work, keep going at it, and, putting myself in positions where it's like I said, you might have to shoot something for free today, or just to get in the building to talk to people and get your business card out. So it's a real grind. And even now, like it gets slow, it gets fast, and you got to always find a way like to reinvent yourself. Like you said, it's new people shooting videos every day. It's new younger kids with companies, and it's wide open. It's a wide open market. So you gotta compete like sports out here. So I just try to always keep it going, keep it pushing, and deliver. And when I deal with clients and people, treat them like they're family.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that goes a long way.
For sure, man. Well, one thing I know about you is you grind, bro. Mm-hmm. You grind. Well, listen, in the morning, y'all are working out. I see your videos. I'm following your stories. Yeah. You're going from one shoot to the other, to the next shoot, to the next shoot. And then the next thing I do, I see you making sweaters. Man. Branding yourself. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. Because you went from making these videos to now becoming a full-fledged business where you're doing the marketing stuff. And like, dude, these things sound like hotcakes. Show everybody on the camera. Like,
we got this one. We got this one too. We got about 7-10 different colorways right now. But so with that, I had always.
And that's love though. Everybody's buying them.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I was talking to my boy on the way out here. Yeah. It's like, I realized with videos, everybody can't buy a video. Everybody doesn't have a need for a video. So people like all my friends in Oregon and Utah and things like this, they support by watching, but they can't buy a video. They can't, there's no way to get a video. So the moment I opened up this and started like seeing how many people are really supporting out there, it's been crazy to me because now I give them something tangible that they can, oh yeah, I do want to support. Can you send me this hoodie? Or y'all want to buy a hoodie? Or
send me two.
It's been crazy. It's like, man, I forgot about the whole market out there. I was thinking just so much in Fairfield and Vallejo and SAC and shooting the videos with these, but it's like there's such a market out there for in Utah, like I said, Oregon. I got Italy, just everywhere. All the places I hadn't been around. It's like, man, it's been a blessing. And then, like when I first started, I was taking this to a place. Yeah. I was ordering my hoodies from this place, getting this from a place. Then I'm getting it printed. So it was just like, man, to make the hoodie at the beginning, it was costing me so much money. And I was like, as far as business, this wasn't a smart move because if I'm making a hoodie for about $50, I'm selling $50. I'm losing money most of the time.
Yeah, you're losing your time.
Yeah. So from there, I just got on YouTube like I do on most things. YouTube for me is like college now, and that's why like you could instead of having to learn everything like how in college is, now you can go right to the point and figure out what you want to learn. So I started kind of talking to a couple people about how the shirt process goes and different things like that, and then I have a business license, so I ended up getting my seller's permit where I could buy my hoodies wholesale now with no tax. So now I'm like, okay, I can get my own material. Now I'm just figuring out how to get on the hoodie, did that research, and then about maybe a week ago, I learned it, and I've been doing it ever since. We got about like 50 hoodies already with different colors and stuff, and it's just...
How much do you sell these hoodies for?
These ones right now, these are 50, and then like I don't know if you've seen the reflective ones, the ones that change with the sun and flash, those are about 60 right now.
I need a few of those.
Yeah, I got you, don't even worry. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and it's been lovely because it's like, I'm not more so worried about making so much money on hoodies, but it's like, giving somebody something a part of your business and letting them, their support now. And then you never know who's going to see that hoodie and it brings clients.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that? Oh, they might want a hoodie or they might need a video. So it's just been like being able to take on all aspects of this business has been such a learning experience and growing because it's like now I'm a marketer, I'm a merchandiser, like I'm a video guy. Yeah, and let me give a shout out to my mom though, because my mom's been out. That's my secret weapon. She's been out there helping me press up these hoodies. She's been, making sure everything is centered. So it's like running this business alone it's been hard, but having moms out there helping, that's been my secret weapon. Yeah, moms love Marco too. Definitely. Yeah.
For sure, man.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say for entrepreneurs, man, that are out there and just don't necessarily know, how to start. Mm-hmm. You started off with YouTube. What would you recommend for them so they can pick up some game from you on what you did and maybe they could apply it into their own world?
So I think the first and most important thing about being an entrepreneur is you got to find something that you love to do. You got to find something you're passionate about because like if you're doing something you don't want, you don't love, it's going to feel like work. When I was waking up and going to that job in Demand Force, I loved it because of the people, but as far as the work, right now I don't miss the work at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was doing the video stuff for free back in the day. I was doing it just because I loved it. No matter if I had a client or not, I was finding stuff to do. So the most important is finding something you love. And then from there, it's like I said, consistency and riding the waves like we was talking earlier. For me, it gets slow. It gets too fast. So it's about riding those waves and just being able to, adjust with the times and not get discouraged when it's a slow month. I have slow months in Christmas. It's like the hardest time. You got taxes, you got Christmas presents, you got girlfriends. It's like, man.
Girlfriend.
Yeah. But it's like, man, it's a struggle. It's this type of work. When you work at a job, you for sure gonna get that check. You come on time, you're gonna get that check. With this type of job, you gotta go out and get it.
For sure.
You gotta grit. You gotta I wake up every day about 6 a.m. Like I have a job. Well, I do have a job, but it's like this is my job, which it is. And it's like entrepreneurs ain't for everybody because everybody don't have that will to wake up and go work on this today without someone telling them. Like that was a blessing that came from my dad. Because like I said, when I was at home, when I was younger, he come home. If I'm at the house, just sitting in the house. What you doing? Why are you not?
What are you nitty?
Yeah. What are you doing? Why have you worked out today?
Some push-ups.
Yeah, something. So it's always like, and that happened at an early age, and then from there, he never had to do it again. As I got a little older, like when I was in high school, I'm always trying to beat my dad to the gym or outwork him, and that's what kind of got me in this position. It's like
the competitive nature.
Yeah, I'm competitive. I'm gonna wake up. I want to wake up earlier than the next videographer. I want to lift more weights than the next videographer. I want to shoot more video. Like I'm competing. Not even with the next videographer. I'm competing with myself because I want to be the best me.
100%.
And it's like, I know at the end of the day, if there's 10 videographers in the Bay Area and I'm one of them, now I'm really only competing with 10 people. I trust in my work ethic. I'm gonna outwork whoever.
For
and
sure.
That's how I feel about it.
And let's touch on that, man, because earlier we were talking about business is like a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
When you first start off, everybody's kind of enjoying it. You starting something new, you riding the wave, you're going up. You're like, oh man, this is cool. I'm gonna enjoy this until you take that first dip and you go down. And you gotta ride and hold on. But what happens is they can't ride the wave. They can't stay on the roller coaster. They're asking to get them off.
Yeah.
But the people that make it are the ones that have grit. The ones that wake up early, the ones that are creating systems in place, the ones that are constantly reinventing themselves like you are. What worked, what didn't work. So, what do you do for yourself, in terms of like planning for your business? We just ended off the new year, 2019. You and I we have a strategy meeting every year where we talk about business and how we could kind of help ourselves, right? And how we could take KWelch to the next level. So, what do you have in sight for 2020? What are you trying to accomplish this year?
So I feel like that's a good question. The first years, well, not even first year, like the first years I was more about, like I said, I go out to shoot. It's about finding the clients, about grading and grinding, just doing anything, just to try to create a name, get your skills better. The last year, I seen that there was times where it got slow. And I needed to find a way to, like I said, reinvent myself so that when it does have slow times, I had other stuff going on.
Right.
So this year, my focus has been on, like I said, business cards. I got my business cards together, looking good. I got my website up, the clothing. Yep. I just really wanted to work on the presentation of the business because I was out here running around I was shooting 100 videos, but the people couldn't really find them unless they're on YouTube. And a lot of people don't want to, if I'm shooting a wedding, people don't want to search through music videos. So now I have it where I can present better to clients, just position myself in a better way to go after like more businesses and not just necessarily I'm outside in the street shooting.
Get it more organized.
Yeah, more organized. Just a better presentation. Just tighten up the business a lot. And
trying different things I see because you did the sports thing, right? Or you started off with music videos and then you started working with pro athletes. I know you work with guys like
Jason Verrett, CJ Anderson.
From Vallejo. Jason Verrett.
That type of stuff.
People from the 707. Always showing love, working with each other.
Yeah, and the thing that's good about them is like, with them, we're always doing like stuff where we're giving back to the community. And I grew up with these guys. CJ Anderson, that was my running back on my team from 3rd grade till I moved out of Vallejo. That was my guy. So, and then Jason, we always just battle him. He was on the Fairfield Falcons. We would battle him, Vallejo Raiders or the Fairfield Falcons. So I've known them my whole life.
So I'm talking about
and now it's crazy to get on the field, like to be on the field in the Fairfield High now, and Jason's throwing a fun fest for the whole community, and I'm shooting, and it's crazy to see that we were once kids on this field battling each other. And now we're on the field giving back to the community where I'm running my business with my clothing brand on. He got his business with his clothing brand on. And it's just a blessing. Same thing with CJ Anderson. We in Vallejo giving back to the same community and same field we played millions of games on, giving back to that community. It's just it's a humbling and it's a crazy experience to me to just see like because time flies. For me, it's like I feel like we're still in Pop Warner in my mind. Like, man, I was just with these guys playing. And now we're 28, 29, throwing events for the community. And it's like, it's really great to see. Back. Yeah, I love working with those type of people because they're in such a high position and they're giving back to the community and you never know what kid you're touching. Like I was in kids back in the day when CC Sabathia came to the field and was, giving back and just come to the games and you could see somebody like that, like a professional athlete at the gym with you, a normal humble person. It's a crazy feeling and it makes you feel like you could do it.
You feel like a small city. That had an impact on you as a kid?
Oh, CC Sabathia had a major impact because like I said, I was traveling Martinez, all types of places. My dad was a coach. He was one of the main coaches on the team. So, and he was the coach that always was with the players. He was the coach that the players come to his house. He was cool with the kids. So
Coach Welch?
Yeah, Coach Welch. So
CC played with a few teams, but he's most known for playing with the Yankees.
Yeah. One of the
big time
one of the probably the best athlete to come out of Vallejo as far as where he's done and what he's done. I mean, and who he is. But
and the philanthropy stuff that he does too.
Exactly. And at a young age, like I said, he was 20 years. I seen him in high school throwing 100 miles per hour, and he was always. I got pictures of him when I was a kid. He was just such a humble dude, and it made you think like, man, this guy right here is just like one of us. We could do it. Right. So seeing that at a young age was such a blessing. And then it's like when he made it, he came back to the gym with us, and it was just like, man, this is
here.
Yeah, it didn't make you feel like a and for me, and this has always been. It's like it didn't make me feel like a famous person was just like so different. It was just like I could be whoever I want to be if I just put in that time. And the thing that kind of stuck with me is like when I listen to interviews and like Will Smith and people, they always say, how'd you make it? They said, I just worked hard and I just stayed consistent. And I was like, why do everyone always say that? Until I started working on stuff and seeing like, there ain't no secret. It's just hard work and consistency, and it'll come. And that's one thing that I'm just like, man, it's crazy. I try to tell all my friends, you're a trainer, you do this, you need to start the business. Don't just do stuff just to do it. I mean, yeah, do it if you love it, but always try to figure out a way to make it so that you can make it your life, your business.
You know, like back in Vallejo, I know there's an issue at least with funding for public education. Mm-hmm. You know, like having a lack of resources, even back home, like leaves an impact on our community and our people. And one thing we always talk about is there being a lack of representation for people of color, Latinos, Black, brown, whatever. Just making sure that people are seeing people like us that are out here doing great things like you're doing. So what kind of advice would you have for young Latino colored kid, you know, that has dreams of one day doing something big, but they're in a tough situation right now, negative environment, and they don't really see the light? Like, what would you say to that kid?
Well, my first thing is, I'm real big on like, I think we create a lot of excuses that are imaginary, like blocks that we think are like, oh, this is stopping me. I talk to a lot of people now. Oh, I can't start this because I have to wait for this to come, or I'm not in the right position. For me, anybody could be. I mean, we have tough situations in welfare, but you could be in worse situations. So for me, what I would say is find a way. Like Nike says, just do it. That's the simplest thing, but it's serious. Just do it. Like, you're gonna go through struggles. I go through struggles right now. I might have had a better upbringing than other people or a better situation, but I go through struggles. Everybody has their own struggles, so it's about, you know, tough people make it through tough times, they say. So the harder the time is right now, that just means the bigger blessings are coming, better things are coming. So I just say, don't let things discourage you. Ask for help. Find the resources. Like right now, they say it's not about not having enough resources. It's just you're not resourceful enough. So, like I said, they got YouTube right now where you can learn I learned how to make a t-shirt company in 1 hour. They got YouTube. They got people out there. And if your community is not big on that, like you said, there's not a lot of people you feel like you can go talk to, they got YouTube, or they got, you know, make a call, or, I mean, I don't know. There's just, I feel like there's a way. If there's a way, you know, you can find it. It's just about fighting through that adversity. And I mean, it's going to get tough. There might be times you want to quit and stuff, but just imagine, like I said, if you do something for a year and you do it nonstop compared to, you start at the end of the year and try to see your progression from like maybe a month, the person that started it for that whole year is going to have so much more knowledge and so much more hands-on experience and stuff. So it's just about doing it. No matter how hard it is, no matter what you're facing, just keep doing the things you love, and it'll open a door for you. That's how I feel. It did it for me, and I just feel like it'll do it for everybody if you give it a chance. If you're out there working hard, if you're out there in the community doing things, the things will find you. Now, if you're standoffish, you're not talking to people, you don't really put in that work, it's not gonna find you. There's no one is gonna just say, hey, here you go. It's not like that out here.
You gotta take the initiative. Yeah, you gotta ask for help, and with asking for help, there also has to be a level of humility, and I think that's something that we deal with a lot. Is our egos are way too big. You know, like we don't like asking for help. We don't like seeming like we don't got it figured out, or we care too much what people say about us or what they're gonna do. Like I remember before we started this podcast, and the reason why I didn't do it sooner was like, man, I wonder what people are gonna think. But you know what? I don't give a shit what people think, because at the end of the day, people are always gonna say something negative about what you do. So you might as well do it. Just start it. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fall on your face, you know, but you get up. You have some fucking grit. Pull your pants up and just keep going. Definitely. You know what I mean? That's key. So a lot of respect to you, man. I see you out here grinding, doing a lot of dope things, you know, not just for your own business, but also philanthropy-wise, you know, giving back to our high school and back to the community. So you always got a place here on That's Game Boy. I appreciate you coming on and just sharing some wisdom with our audience. Before you leave, man, we got a special bottle for you. So here on That's Game Boy, we like to showcase small businesses and entrepreneurs that are really out there getting it, doing their thing. And there ain't no bigger hustler out in the Bay Area, 707, somebody that's a personal friend of yours, you know, rapper E40. So you are now certified Game Boy. Here goes your bottle. Enjoy that, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Show, brother.
Yes, sir.